Today we are talking French onion soup. It is so delicious, so earthy. Caramelized onions, first of all, are the queen of all onions, okay? Onions are that girl, but the things you can do with them, sublime. I tie my herbs up into a little bouquet garni because it's easier to fish the herbs out later when we're plating up our soup. We don't want these whole sprigs in the soup. So I just tie it together with some kitchen twine and it is good to go. I can pick it out whenever I'm ready. We have some French bread here that I'm just going to drizzle with some olive oil on both sides and place under the broiler for about 2 minutes per side. You want to watch this because it burns quickly. I burn it all the time, but today is not going to be one of those days. We're going to learn how to caramelize some onions today. If we're doing the batch as big as we're doing today, give yourself an hour minimum. It's going to take a while for these onions to get some color on them. We're going to add some sugar, some salt, some butter, and some olive oil to get them started. And we're going to just constantly mix them. I usually check on them every 5 minutes. You want to stay close to them because you can go from caramelized to burnt. And we don't want that because we don't want to start all over again. So keep your eye on the onions, keep mixing it, and you'll do fine. Caramelizing onions is a little scary, but I will get you through it today. For the main star of the show, the onions, I like to slice them into 1/8 inch thick pieces so that they don't burn too fast. And we're going to start by melting some butter and olive oil into a Dutch oven over medium-low heat. I add in all my onions along with a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of kosher salt. The salt is going to help those onions sweat down a little bit, and the sugar is going to aid them in the caramelization. You're going to notice that I am stirring throughout this entire process, so you want to stand by your pot for the next hour. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what's going to help the onions not stick to the bottom and brown effectively. And this time, I successfully toasted my bread, thank goodness. So I'm still stirring up here at the 30-minute mark, and we're starting to see some big changes. Once you get to 45 minutes, you see them turning brown, and you breathe a sigh of relief. Here we are at 50 minutes. You see the fond at the bottom of the pot. That's okay. That's going to come up when we deglaze. I think this 5-minute change between 50 and 55 minutes is the most drastic change we see. You can see the onions are super brown now. And in the next 5 minutes, when we hit our hour, they're going to be as brown as I want them to be for this soup. So now we're going to mix that up and we're going to add in our garlic and let that saute for about a minute or until it becomes fragrant. You don't want to burn the garlic. You just want to heat it up a little bit to release those oils and that smell. At this point, we can add in our brandy and scrape up all of that fond, those beautiful brown bits that were made at the bottom. You see they're coming up very easily. And then we're going to add in a splash of balsamic vinegar. I used about 1 teaspoon. And then we're going to add in our beef stock. So I use a whole 32-ounce container or 4 cups of beef stock. You can also use chicken or vegetable if you want that option, but traditionally it's with beef stock. And now I'm adding in my herbs, salt to taste, and also pepper to taste. Make sure you're tasting throughout this whole process. We want to bring this soup to a boil and then reduce the flame and cover it for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, this is how we're looking. It's looking pretty good. And we're fishing out all of these herbs so that they're not in our soup when we go to pour it into these ramekins. So I'm portioning out some soup in the ramekins. I'm not filling them up entirely all the way, but just enough so that we have enough to serve. And then I'm topping them with the French bread that I toasted the right way this time. And I'm going to sprinkle some gruyere cheese on the top. You know, I always grate my cheese from the block. So we get these nice big melty pieces of cheese once we throw it under the broiler. We're going to broil these for a couple minutes. Please keep an eye on it so that the cheese does not burn. And this is how they look when they come out. I'm just going to top it off with some fresh thyme since we cooked some thyme with it. And that is all she wrote. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this recipe and I hope you try it out. Let me know how it comes out if you do. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can find all the links for the full recipe down in the description box. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.